God will not reward you if you're being lazy. And I know that a lot of us men don't want to work, right? And that's our flesh, right, speaking, right? And it's important that each and every day of our lives we try to deny our flesh, right? The very best that we can, because as a man, there's no way why you should be avoiding work, right? Something has to be built, right? Somebody has to pay the rent. Somebody has to get the food. Somebody has to get that car, right? And nobody's gonna get it but you. But in order for you to achieve those things, you have to work as hard as you can. Stop looking for sympathy. And I noticed that a lot of men are doing that. A lot of men are looking for sympathy and want people to feel bad for them for working so hard. When in reality, everybody is worried about their own lives, right? You have to put in the work. Stop worrying about if somebody's feeling sorry for you or if somebody cares about you. Because at the end of the day, not many people care about the work that a man really puts in. Nobody cares about that, right? They care about the product. They care about what you bring to the table after the work is being put in, right? So keep your head up and keep working as hard as you can. Because at the end of the day, like I said, food has to be made. And in order for food to be made, you have to go and get that food. And in order for you to go and get that food, you have to get money. And in order for you to get that money, you have to work, right? And that's the reality that we are all under as a society, right? It's been like this for eons, for centuries, bro, right? Since the beginning of time, God has made us men to work for everything. We have to work for our crops, right? We have to go hunt for food, hunt animals, wild animals, risking our lives to protect our family, right? But in this generation, we don't have to do that, right? We have cars. You can literally walk to the gas station and get food, right? It may not be good food, but you can get something that's definitely easier than going out there in the wild and hunting like we had to do back in the day. So a lot of men are still complaining, right, at the fact that they have to do all of these things when in reality it's really not that bad. We're not suffering as you may think we are, right? The life that we live, it may not be the best, but it's definitely better than the lives we had to live back then, before Christ, right? Where, like I said, we had to hunt wild animals, we had to risk our lives to live, we had to risk our lives to build shelter, right? To make food, right? To build a fireplace, right? We had to do all of these things. And the only reason why we're here today is because of God, right? If you're alive right now, understand that God still has a purpose for you. There's a reason why you're seeing this video, right? There's a reason why I'm speaking to you, right? There's a reason why I had to wake up this morning and I had to go to the gym, right? There is a reason for everything, whether it's a bad reason or a good reason. All of that's perspective, but at the end of the day, there is a reason for everything in life, right? Nothing is a coincidence. Nothing in life is a coincidence. That had to be there for a reason, right? You have to work for a reason. Why would God put you on earth and make you work for absolutely no reason? The reason why he's doing that is because of the fact that as a man, in order for you to grow, you have to go through pain, right? And pain comes with the work, right? Pain comes with, being uncomfortable. Working all day is uncomfortable, but at the same time, it's going to build you up as a man and discipline you. It's going to discipline your mind and make you understand that you have to do this in order to live. There is no avoiding this. It's inevitable. And that's something that all men need to realize, that we will work for the rest of our lives until the day that we pass on and we meet the Lord. That is the harsh truth. Whether you are working in a warehouse or you're a businessman, you're an entrepreneur, whatever the case may be, you're going to have to work for the rest of your life. especially if you're a businessman, if you're running a business, right? In order for your business to keep on flowing, you have to work. Sometimes you have to work than the average 9-to-5 worker. And that's how it is. Some days you're gonna have to work 24/7, and some days you can only work just 5 hours, right? But when you're young, work so much to the point where you build so much of your money to the point where your money can save you, right? When you're going to the gym, what are you doing? You're working your body. You're working out, right? But when you reach failure, it hurts, right? You feel that pain. You feel uncomfortable, right? But when you wake up the next day, you see your muscle growing. Why? Because you're putting in the work. When you're going to college, right, and you have to take a test, you have to put in the work. You have to study, right? You have to apply knowledge to your brain, right? It's going to feel uncomfortable, but you have to do it. But at the end of the day, you're going to be smarter than what you were before. Why? Because you are putting in work. Everything in life happens for a reason. Every bit of part of your life, work has to be put there. Work has to be put in your life. And so I noticed that a lot of men, right, they go to work and they complain about the situation that they're in 24/7. They complain that they gotta do this. They complain that they gotta do that, right? To the point where that's all they know. All they know is complaining, right? All they know is complaining about the situation that they're in. And the more that you complain, the more likely you're going to stay the same. Why? Because you're speaking negativity into the world, into the atmosphere, right? Constantly, rather than just keeping your mouth shut and putting in the work, right? You gotta understand, when you complain, your life is not going to change for the better. Change only happens when you put in action, not words, right? Yes, you can manifest certain things in your life, but at the same time, you gotta work towards those things, right? In Romans, it explains to us that faith is dead without works, right? You can have faith in the Lord, but at the same time, you have to work for everything that you have, right? You cannot pray to have a nice car and not work to get that nice car, right? Especially if you don't got a job, you don't got money coming in, right? God is not just going to bless you with a car. He wants to see you in action, right? God rewards those who put in the work, who put in action, rather than those who pray and do absolutely nothing. And that's a fact. There's a lot of people who think that way. There's a lot of people who think that only praying is going to get them what they want, when it's just not the truth. And they wonder why they're not getting, the rewards, right? It's because you're not doing any action. You're not moving, right? You're only speaking, right? Do more action and less talking. Because at the end of the day, people are not going to respect you if you say your goals 24/7, if you say that you're going to do this and you're going to do that and you just don't do it, right? You just do the opposite of what you said you was going to do. When you do that, people disrespect you, right? They see you as a sucker, you know what I'm saying? They see you as somebody who's bluffing, right? Boy who cries wolf, right? You say that you're going to be an entrepreneur, you say you're going to be investing in these stocks, you say you're going to get into the gym, but nobody's seeing the work. And so when people see the work that they put in, not only do they respect you, right, but they admire you, they get closer to you, right? They want to be around you, right? People naturally want to be around somebody who is improving their life so they can improve their lives as well, right? Be that person who's able to lead people through your hard work. That's what God wants each and every one of us to do. He wants us to lead people through our work, not only by our faith, but by the work that we're putting in. That being said, take care.